Hey guys, today's our hatching day of the chicks. Come, let's see how they are born. Here we have the first batch that we had this morning. These are just a few hours old. And here in the incubator, they are still getting born. Well, as I said, today is the day that the chicks hatch. This happens every 5 days. So here I'm sitting at the incubator. I'm gently going to open the incubator to get the chicks out of it. The chicks are at least 6 hours old. This morning I already had a batch of chicks that were born overnight. Here I'm gently removing the chicks from the incubator. It's important that I only extract the dry chicks. The chicks that are still wet are gonna stay in the incubator so that they can dry up and be stronger. Also, it's very important that they complete the cicatrization of their belly button so that there cannot enter any kind of bacteria so easily. In case that there does enter any bacteria, it will infect and it will have fatally consequences for the chicks, because they don't have a strong enough immune system to fight this infection. So unfortunately they will die. That's why it's very important to have a good hygiene of the newly born chicks. And maybe some of you might think, whoa, does a chick has a belly button? And the answer is yes, they do. It's the part that connects the chick with the egg yolk in the time that we were incubating in the egg. Well, here I'm on the other side of the incubator, on the rear part of the incubator. And also gently gonna open the incubator, being careful that any chicks don't fall out. We're gonna remove the shells that fill the ground of the incubator. And well, maybe some of you might think, whoa, why don't you have the eggs in a hatching box or in a hatching crate? That's the little crate that you put on the bottom of the incubator and put the eggs 36 hours before they hatch. Well, the reason of this is because this incubator has a very small area. So if I put the eggs in the hatching crate, they will be very squeezed. And what can happen here is that at the moment that the first chicks hatch, they might move the rest of the eggs. And as the egg is hatching, it may not move because the chick inside the embryo is breathing. And if it turns, they might drown in their own fluids. So we will have a smaller percentage of birth rate. Here we're bringing them to the brooder. This plastic crate where I transport them is sterilized every time after the use. Here I'm putting in the brooder. Also getting them gently out the crate and putting them on the ground. This brooder is here, they are gonna stay another few hours, like 4 hours or so. This brooder, I put paper towels on the surface so that they enter directly in a clean space and prevents any infection. It's also because it has a rough surface so that they don't spread their legs. It's also something that happens often in a small percentage. If it happens more than 3% of the batch, well, that can be attributed to another issue, meanwhile in the incubator or mostly in the process of hatching. But we're gonna speak about this in other videos that we're gonna make. I do have in mind some other themes that I wanna talk about in future videos. Like, for example, all what refers to the egg collection, the treatment of the eggs before the incubator, the storage of the eggs, and all of those themes. I also have in mind making a video about the process of the incubation, I've got some mistakes that I've done myself, so hopefully I can avoid that this happens to you guys. Well, this is the other kind of brooder that we have. You are putting the chicks that are like 10 hours old. This is 1 meter 10 by 1 meter 10. They're made of wood. It's not the best material for the hygiene for the chicks, but we power wash them every time between use and disinfect them, so we don't have any problem with it. But the use of wood does have some benefits, like for example, it's cheap, and also that it maintains the warmth for the chicks. It's very important that they stay warm for this period, because they don't auto-regulate their temperature. So that means that they depend on an external source of heat. The chicks, and well, until this moment the chicks still haven't eaten or drank anything. So well, we're gonna put them here carefully so that we can put some feed and drink. The chicks can resist 3 days without eating or drinking, but the sooner you put them, the better for the chicks. Well, here we're putting the feed for them. We move it a little bit so that they don't get trapped with their feet under the feed. Remember, they are still a few hours old, so they're a little weak, they're not so strong. Here we put their fresh water from them. It's important that the drinking water for them is clean. If the water for them is not able for human consumption, I wouldn't recommend it for the chicks. As you can see, here I put a plastic nylon feed bag on top, so that it contains the warmth, at least for the first 2 or 3 days. So well, I hope that you've learned something today. Any question that you have, I don't have any problem with answering it in the comments. So well, please like and subscribe. Have a nice day.